Hello everyone, this is Gene and I'm back with another video. So first off, as always, I hope everybody is well. I've been busy this weekend. When I haven't been busy, I've been tired. So as I've explained in other videos, this is kind of the part of the course for me at this time of the year, so videos are a bit sparse. But I happened to see this particular tweet. It was retweeted and commented upon by a uh, Twitter account that I follow called Retro Boy John. It's very retro gaming type of account, and he happened to retweet this, or I guess quote tweet is the better term. And this is how I came across this. So I thought I would give my, let's say, expanded take on it because I did respond on Twitter, but Twitter by design doesn't allow you to, fully express your thoughts because of the character limit. So I thought I'll make a video for it. So I hope everybody is well. RJ is fine. As you know, Saturday is Catterday, so it is Catterday night. Although he's currently eating dinner and probably a little mad at me because I got dinner a little late. He usually eats around 7, so he's been pacing around glaring at me for the past 40 minutes or so. But anyway, here's what Raziel, who defines, I'm assuming himself if I went by the picture, as a musician and writer, video game collector, survival horror and RPGs, right? And all this other stuff, currently creating an indie game. So he says, right? Now, I don't know if the name Raziel is a reference to the Legacy of Kain games from way, way, way back in the day, like the mid or late 90s. Oh, hey, RJ! Hi, 1 second. I went to pick up RJ and he just like ran from me. Okay, RJ, I'll leave you alone. But anyway, so I don't know if the name necessarily is a shout out to the old Legacy of Kain games, but that happened to be the first thing that came to mind. So Raziel here says, if you call yourself a gamer but hide your gamer score, trophies, etc., it looks like you have something to hide. What's the point of calling yourself a gamer if you're not willing to share your gaming achievements with the rest of us? I don't understand it honestly. So let me just share what I responded with, right? Assuming this will work. Are you gonna? Okay, here we go. So here's what I wrote. Right, I said, unless I am playing something like a fighting game, I have nothing to prove. My achievements are mine. I don't have to share them to prove I am a gamer. I call myself a gamer because I have played video games since age. Now, of course, that's simply my Twitter response, and I actually did get a few responses in the notifications, and I would like to share some of those if this thing will load. Right, so we have Infernal Laya, right, saying, I thought the point of playing video games is having fun. Indeed, Laya, it is. That's the point of playing any video game is to have fun with it. Then we have Depth Charge Media, who I follow and who follows me. And Depth Charge says, I'm old enough to remember when there was no internet, no gamer score, and no trophies. And we got by just fine, and games were just as fun then as they are now. Indeed. And then we have Hatred Intensified. Okay. And Hatred Intensified says, hell, I played Ninja Gaiden on normal mode because some of the enemies and bosses be on BS. Does that make me any less of a gamer? No, it doesn't. Believe me, you wouldn't be the first person. Heck, I know people. I never played Ninja Gaiden. I never played that or Battletoads. So I give you credit. And then we have someone retweeted me and said, preach! Well, here I am. You wanted a preacher. Here I am. But anyway, let me see what Retro Boy John said. Let me see if I can find his tweet. Let's see here. Alright, come on. Where is it? I want to share what Retro Boy John said. Hold up. I'm gonna put this on pause and then find his tweet so I can share it. What's wrong with this thing? Here we go. Ah, finally found it. So, Retro Boy John says, can't get behind this at all. Why do you need to share it? Game scores and trophies don't mean anything. We survived for decades without them. They are there to make you keep playing. Good for you if you enjoy them, but not sharing them doesn't make you not a gamer. Weird take, in my opinion. I agree. I agree with this, though, to be fair, I wouldn't necessarily say game scores and trophies don't mean anything. They are achievements, right? They mean that you've done something exceptional. And to be fair, achievements and sort of bragging about your achievements, braggadociousness has always been a part of gaming, right? Now, of course, Retro John and I probably are a bit on the older side of gaming, right? I started with the NES when I was 4 years old, and that was back in 1989, right? So I've been at this for a few decades now, and I can tell you from that experience that yes, video games have always had achievements, right, to accomplish. There were challenge simulators back in the day, especially in the days of arcades, right? You had high scores to beat. You had secret endings to unlock, like in Metroid, right? If you finish the game, if you did a speed run and finish the game under a certain time, I think it's under like 2 hours or something, you could unlock, the ending that shows you that Samus is indeed female. Right, so there's always been these sort of achievements, or especially since I grew up playing fighting games, right? There were always achievements like unlocking Reptile in Mortal Kombat, right? Or unlocking Jade and Smoke in MK2, or just Cyber Smoke in Mortal Kombat 3. Now these times were a little bit different, especially with the fighting games, because these were arcade games, right? They were arcade games, and then they got ported to the home console. So when you were in the arcade, you really were putting on a show, especially if you were exceptionally talented and you could, play the game for a long time, or take on multiple players, multiple opponents, or get far in the game, or even beat the game, right? Because everybody knows the arcade machines were rigged to be exceptionally difficult, so you would keep putting quarters in, right? So it was a bit of a different time, and there always has been an element of braggadociousness and sportsmanship to gaming, and in particular to achievements. So let's establish that right there, right? The problem is not wanting to share your gamer scores or your trophies, or even bragging about them a little bit. For some people, like say streamers or professional gamers, this might actually help them in building their brand or whatnot. So there's nothing wrong with it. I want to make that clear. If you want to share your gamer scores, right, or whatnot, that's totally up to you. What irks me about Raziel's comment, right, is the if you call yourself a gamer but you hide your gamer scores, it looks like you have something to hide. What if you simply don't want to share them? What if you don't feel like they're for public consumption or knowledge? What if that simply makes you comfortable on this wild, wild west thing we call the internet? Now, I don't game online. I never quite got on that train. But I'd imagine that if I did game online, I probably wouldn't be sharing most of my gamer scores unless I felt it especially important. Because, again, unless I'm playing a fighting game and we're going against each other, really, what do I have to prove to Raziel or to anybody else? I don't have to prove I am a gamer, right? That's the thing. That's what irks me about Raziel's tweet. It's the elitism and the gatekeeping of it all, right? If you call yourself a gamer but hide your gamer score, you're still a gamer. You're just one who doesn't want to share your gamer score, and that's fine. And if you want to share your gamer score, that's perfectly fine too, right? And then this other part, what's the point of calling yourself a gamer if you're not willing to share? The fact that I game, that's what makes me a gamer. The fact that I play video games and have played video games since the age of 4, that is what makes me a gamer. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. A gamer score may be a display of skill. Maybe. Like most things on the internet, they can be manipulated, right? But they could at best demonstrate one skill. Same way, high scores back in the arcade days demonstrated a certain proficiency or level of skill, right? Getting the high score and then, just getting on the high score list, right? And then going up to where you beat the high score of the high scores was a pretty big achievement, right? Or again, doing things like unlocking Reptile because we take it for granted now because it's common knowledge if you follow Mortal Kombat. But back then, no one knew if Reptile was real. So if we went to a friend and said, "Oh, I fought this green ninja in Mortal Kombat," they would have been like, "There is no. What are you talking about? There is no green ninja in Mortal Kombat." And then of course you have to try to demonstrate this to them, which means you have to fight on the pit and get a certain cloud, and then you have to do a certain fatality and win with like two perfects and all these things that you weren't exactly consciously aware of back when you were the grand old age of 7 years old, right? So it was a bit of a different time. It was a bit of a different time. But no one is more or less gamer because of their proficiency in a game, right? We all have that one video game that we love to play, but we absolutely suck at. For me, it was always Metal Gear Solid. I'm terrible at the whole stealth, sneaking around stuff, but I always loved that game, right? But skill and proficiency, while you should always endeavor to get better, right? Those things don't make you a gamer, right? Your gamer score doesn't make you a gamer. What makes you a gamer is your history with video games, is your passion for it. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. A gamer score is not going to tell you about my life as a gamer. It's not going to tell you how much I enjoyed playing Duck Hunt. In particular, the clay shooting challenge, because I hated being laughed at by that damn dog. It's not going to tell you about God knows the hours, the months, the years that my brother and I, had to play video games together because it was the 90s and you played whatever was in the house, right? It's not going to tell you, about how I broke down in tears in joy when I finally beat Street Fighter 2 on level 8 as Guile. It's not going to tell you that. Right? If I had a gamer score, it's not going to tell you that about me. It's not going to tell you about the nights I would sit up late and I would plug in the second player controller and basically have like a practice mode is what it would be called today. But I would play Street Fighter or I would play especially MK3. I did this a lot, and I would practice move after move after move, right? Because first of all, especially in MK3, if you got like 50 some or 100 some matches, you could actually unlock the I think it was jeez, what was that game called? It's kind of like Pong. You could unlock Pong. There was a little Pong mini game, and then I think there was a second one where you could get like Galaga, right? or something similar to that, some Space Invaders type game. But the reason I did that back when I was a kid was because my brother kicked my butt from pillar to post in games like Street Fighter and MK3, and it irked me. So I practiced and I practiced and I practiced when no one else was up. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and it finally paid off because while I didn't really beat my brother all that much back in those days, I remember the first time I beat Mortal Kombat 3. I think I was playing as Sub Zero. I'm literally on my last chance, on my last life, and I happened to get a lucky uppercut against Shao Kahn, and I finally beat the game for the very first time, right? Or when I first beat Metal Gear Solid in Metal Gear Solid 2 on hard, right? Or how I struggled mightily in Metal Gear Solid 2 to defeat Olga. I think it took me like 15 or like 18 attempts just to beat Olga playing Metal Gear Solid 2 on, I think it was hard or extreme, one of those, right? That's just a small snippet of my history with gaming, right? A gamer score isn't going to tell you things like how I faithfully collected GamePro magazine for 8 years from the age of about, what was it, 12? Because my first issue was the September 97 issue of GamePro, and that the cover for that was about Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which was a brand new game at the time. RJ, make up your mind. As I was saying, I would collect GamePro, right, from about the age of 12 to about the age of 20, right? So 8 years. A gamer score isn't going to tell you that. And that's just my own personal collection of magazines that I once had. That's not counting like my brother's magazines in particular. What was it? Electronic Gaming Monthly or Game Informer, right? It doesn't count all that, right? A gamer score isn't going to tell you how me and my brother used to sit after school for an hour every day for months playing Streets of Rage 2 together because I made a promise to him that I would play with him every day, and he made me keep that promise because he went to our mother and she made sure I would keep that promise, right? Or how we or you know how we spent God knows how many hours playing games like Golden Axe, or how I would sit behind him and sort of like try to give advice but also make fun of him at the same time when he played Sonic or other stuff, or God knows how many hours that we put in together playing the Power Rangers game, right? Justice shall overcome and all that stuff, right? It's not going to tell you that I originally went to college. A gamer score isn't going to tell you that I originally went to college because I wanted to get into the gaming industry. And I thought that being able to make websites was the way I would do it, right? It's not going to tell you anything about that. It doesn't tell you about my history in gaming or my love and passion for it. Now, my love and passion for gaming has not dimmed. I am in deep disappointment with the current state of video games. I think it's become over commercialized, and I believe, especially with the constant reliance on overly long and bloated franchises like Mortal Kombat, that they are, for the most part, creatively bankrupt, and a lot of the practices like what is it, loot boxes and paywalls and things of that nature. I think those are antithetical to gaming, and I think that they shouldn't be in gaming. I I very much disagree with this piecemeal approach to purchasing video games, right, or playing video games. But my passion for it as a medium has never dimmed. I still love video games, and I hope and pray that there'll be a time when there'll be a true renaissance of gaming. I hope that I'm alive to see it, and I hope that my fingers and my thumbs will still be in good enough condition to play. Right? So I love gaming, and that's the thing that a gamer score cannot tell you. It can tell you the score. It can tell you a person's ranking. It can be an indicator of skill, but it cannot reflect a person's passion and love for either a particular video game or for just gaming as a whole, for gaming as a medium. It cannot reflect that, right? I'm not a big fan of checking gamer cred, but I do understand why it's done at times, right? To root out bad actors. For example, if someone says, "Oh, the first Castlevania game I ever played was Symphony of the Night on the Genesis," you know they're lying or they're mistaken, because while there is a Castlevania game on the Genesis, it wasn't Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night was PlayStation. Bloodlines was the one that was on Genesis, right? If there's an obvious hole in someone's story, then yeah, you should call them out on it. But if you're truly going to try to set silly arbitrary rules like you're only a real gamer if you show your gamer score. It would be like me trying to say you're only a real gamer if you personally remember things like Eternal Champions, right? You're only a real gamer if you have the gaming history I have. You're only a real gamer if you go back to the 1990s like I do. You're only a real gamer if you know this very obscure game that even people my age probably haven't heard of. You see how stupid that sounds? To put some sort of arbitrary rule that decides who and who is not a gamer for some just stupid arbitrary condition to meet. It's silly. It's stupid. Let's not be silly and stupid. Let's not gatekeep needlessly. Let's not try to cred check or try to, in a way, use shame, right, to make people do something that for whatever their reasons, they may not want to do. Right? So, yeah, I don't agree with Raziel here. I call myself a gamer because I am a gamer, because it is part of my personal identity. As much as my city of birth is, as much as my gender is, as much as my ethnicity is. It is not all of who I am, but it is a very large part of who I am. And you don't get to tell me I am not a gamer because I don't have a gamer score to share. However, if you do want to play me in some Street Fighter 2 so I can kick your ass as Ken, I'm always down for that. But anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day and night wherever you are. Bye.